What's going on, guys? Brian here with Prop Hunters, here for our All-Star Weekend special this time. Just gonna bring you a quick little preview for Friday night. So we have our quick picks in tonight's Rising Stars Challenge. It should be a pretty interesting little format they got going this year. So I don't know if you guys are aware, but it's a first team to 40, and then the winner of the first two games meets in a championship for a first team to 25. So, obviously, props, player lines, they're a bit sketchy. They're a bit come and go. I don't know if Vegas knows exactly what to do with this one tonight. So hopefully that works in our advantage, and we can bring you some lines that I did find on FanDuel. Now, all these are definitely subject to change, especially with it being kind of an odd betting lines and odd event. So that being said, let's get into it. So first off, I want to show you the four teams rosters. So this is what we got tonight. Now it's going to be like Team Mitch over here starts off first game against Team G League. In that one, Team Mitch is favored at minus 250 currently. 4.5 point favorites on the spread. Again, it's a first to 40. Over under at 73.5. I'm not really going to get into the spreads. I'm not going to get into the over-unders too much. I will say that I would lean towards the Team Mitch on the spread here, just being that, you got guys like Kamara that can play defense. You got proven guys on good teams such as Strother. The Thompson twins, they're going to show out tonight. I think, in fact, they're going to, motivate each other to play well. That's why they are two of the guys I like in some props tonight. So if I was going to pick the spread, I would lean towards Team Mitch at minus 4.5. So yeah, we'll get more into those picks later. But yeah, just in general, what I like about the rosters, I already got into Team Mitch. As far as the G League squad, Bryce McGowan showed a lot last year for, I was going to say New Orleans Hornets, but the Charlotte Hornets. I don't know how he ended up back in the G League. Obviously, Reed Shepherd draws a lot of attention. He's put up some crazy numbers in the G. Came up in the NBA and been a crazy shooter. What's up, buddy? I got my son back here too. He really is liking the Reed Shepherd analysis. But yeah, you got good role guys like Spencer, Davison, who can pass the ball. We all know Mac McClung, the high flyer. He's probably going to put together a highlight or two tonight. So yeah, that's what we got for the G team. As far as teams teams T and Team C over here, they're going to be in a matchup against each other as well in the first game. So probably a bit more of an even matchup as far as draft prestige and player recognition. So on the Chris Mullins squad, we got Stephon Castle, Ryan Dunn, Zach Edey, Keontae George, Trace Jackson Davis, Dalton Connect, and Jalen Wells. What stands out to me on that squad, I would say I like the size with Edey, but I don't think he's going to be able to get up and down the court in an all-star game. I really wonder about his speed, his conditioning. So you can't take unders here, but I would be fading Edey. I don't think he's going to be much of a play here tonight. I do like Dalton Connect. Obviously got something to prove. I don't know where his head is at mentally as far as playing for the Lakers, but as far as being a rising star, I think that's something that he can get his mind right, and he can get focused, motivated, and come out with something to prove. I like Stephon Castle a lot. He showed a lot for San Antonio, a good squad, especially with De'Aaron Fox coming in. His role is kind of going to change. I expect him to want to show what he's got while he can, before he kind of takes a lesser role on his own team full time. And then you got guys like, Ryan Dunn, Jackson Davis, who are good players on good teams. Jalen Wells has shown a lot in decent minutes here during the dog days of January and February. He's kind of come on as of late for the Grizzlies, who are again a good team. And Keontae George is a guy who's been getting the keys handed to him there in Utah. Shown flashes, a lot of inconsistency, but those flashes can show tonight. So, that's kind of the breakdown of the Mullen squad. And we look over at the Hardaway Jr. team. This is the team I think I like the best. My son Iverson likes the best too. So we got Anthony Black and Tristan Da Silva, both of the Orlando Magic. Grady Dick from up there in Toronto, who's been playing well. Jaime Jaquez Jr., UCLA legend, NCAA tournament legend. Kind of a leader down there in Miami, especially after all that's been going on with the Butler situation. Zachary Richeche, the other French first overall pick, because the real star isn't playing in this game. I guess he's past a rising star at this point. He just is a star. But Richeche, spot up shooter, kind of been he's I would say inconsistent, but I think he's been consistently poor. But I do think he's got places he can get to. Alex Sarr. Alex Sarr has kind of shown some things on offense, not a lot on defense. But that shouldn't matter in tonight's game. And then you got Pods from Brandon Podziemski. I should know how to say that. I think we're probably from the same. Our last names make it sound like we're from the same country. But he's from Golden State Warriors. He's a great role guy. He's kind of like their Walmart Draymond Green, is what I would describe him as. Again, inconsistent as a shooter, but he does all the little things. So I like him in that role for this Team Hardaway squad. So those right there are your rosters. So let's get into the first game, which, like I mentioned, is going to be this Team Hardaway against this Team Mullen. So, as far as props I like, let's see here. Let's start off with the points props are kind of difficult for me to bet. I don't really like any of the lines as much as I like the three-pointer lines because, in an all-star game, especially these young guys, not a lot of dunkers in this game, so they're going to be jacking up threes. So let's start off with our two three-pointers made props. You're looking at almost even money on all of these. Are on the first two, and I love both of those two. Those are going to be final plays. Those are going to be locks for us for a full unit. So you got Grady Dick, who, like I said, he's been up in Toronto. He's one of the few shooters on that roster. They're going to have to try to get to 40 points somehow, and I believe it's going to be him getting the ball in the air a lot, getting the ball going towards the hoop, and he's shown he can knock them down. He does this day in, day out. He's a regular rotation player in Toronto. So I don't think playing in a glorified scrimmage in front of more fans than he's used to, I think that might be something that he's looking at, really showing what he can do and showing where he's at versus a lot of these guys who aren't getting consistent minutes on their teams and not getting consistent shot attempts the way he is. So I love Grady Dick for 2+ threes tonight. Next, we're going to look at Dalton Connect, which, as we mentioned earlier, he's got a lot to prove. He's, got to get that monkey off his back. As far as the trade that got rescinded, what a crazy situation, I know. Rob Pelinka, I was going to say a Fab Five legend, but I don't think anybody even knows he was a part of the Fab Five. But Lakers legend for sure, as far as how he's been able to move and shake and kind of get his way in that organization. But Dalton Connect has got something to prove to Pelinka, something to prove to the fans, the NBA. So I look, he's a guy that's, even though he's a rookie this season, I believe he was a fifth-year senior there at Tennessee. The JUCO or the Division II transfer situation. He's got tons of games under his belt, tons of shot attempts. So this is going to be a lock for us, Dalton Connect for 2. And then one that's big plus money that I'm a little surprised at, I think we could probably sprinkle a half unit or maybe 3/4 of a unit on is Ricochet. You know, he's a shooter. That's what he does. While he's been inconsistent in NBA games, a scrimmage, you know, I think there's a reason he was drafted number 1. I think he looked good in a lot of the combine stuff, a lot of the workouts leading up to the draft. I think he can knock. I know he can knock down the 3 ball. And he's the first overall pick. So for some reason, I feel like the NBA, his team, they might try to highlight, you know, in a weak draft, there still is some talent up at the top. So I like him as a number 1 pick. And so those are the 2 3-pointers made props I like. If you want to stretch the first 2 guys to 3, I got those numbers right here. So yeah, so for 3 3-pointers made, I like these a decent amount, maybe half unit plays on top of your 1 unit plays, or you know, a mix and a match. But you know, they got Connect there at plus 225, Dick at plus 205. Not able right now to make a same game parlay on FanDuel. So if you're looking for a bit better odds than just, you know, your 1-for-1s, you might want to look here at these props. So that is what we got for the first game. Moving on to the second game, which again, let's pull up the rosters. Second game, we're going to have the G League squad against Team M, the Mitch Richmond squad. You know, obviously the G League squad is pretty big underdogs here. I think, like I mentioned, they're plus 198 on the money line. Not that big on the spread, but it's a low scoring game. So 4.5 is quite a bit for a game to 40. But yeah, not a lot of lines for this game. The G League guys have almost nothing. So we're going to go with the Thompson twins. We're going to go with my man who plays for my team, the Pistons. I love this kid. I think he's got a bright future alongside Cade Cunningham. And that's going to be, I was going to say Amen Thompson. Not Amen Thompson. Although we do like him for some props as well. We're going to go with Ausar Thompson for minus 122 to get 6 points. This is a very gettable number. His lines are just a bit below his brother. Even though this past month they've averaged exactly the same points per game at 14.6. But I think they're going to be pushing each other. I think there's a healthy competition there. Both guys are dynamic in space. Their games are well suited for an all-star game. Both are gifted passers. You know, while Amen is a bit more gifted on the offensive end, I think he's going to be looking, you know, maybe he finds his brother cutting towards the hoop for a big dunk once or twice. I think Thompson's going to make plays defensively, get out on the break and score a bucket. He's definitely not going to hit a 3-pointer, so don't take him for a 3-pointer prop. But we do like him to get 6 points tonight. So that is the only prop that we really are looking at in the second matchup. As far as our picks for the first games, this is what we're looking at. And FanDuel actually does let you parlay this. So we did include those odds down there at the bottom. So you parlay this for plus 233 if you want a little better odds. But, you know, as far as straight plays, I probably wouldn't take Team Mitch on the straight play. I would actually look at their spread at minus 4.5. Like I said, that is currently minus 115. So that would be a better play as far as on a straight play. But I do like the money line in the parlay. And then if we're looking at the second matchup, I think you could take this plus money on the money line. No problem. The spread plus 3.5. If you feel a little bit more comfortable there, you know, that's definitely a viable option at minus 110. But we like Team Tim Hardaway in that matchup. So pulling up the rosters, you know, I think that as far as the first game, the G League guys, they just don't really have enough outside shooting. They don't really have enough in terms of oomph on offense. Now, what I will say is that they're definitely going to have a lot of hunger, a lot of drive to prove themselves. They got a lot of game experience compared to some of these younger cats. So I wouldn't sleep on them too hard. If, you know, I wouldn't take them at plus 600 to win the whole thing. But to win a game here, if you're feeling frisky, I can see it. But I'm not going to pick it. I'm going to go with Team Mitch. In fact, I think for me, it's between Team Mitch and Team Hardaway. Obviously, is the champion, and I wouldn't blame anyone if those odds were even. I would probably lean Team Mitch. So that's where I'm at as far as the first matchup. I think the Thompson twins can give the couple scorers problems defensively, and Strother can knock it down. Kamara can play great defense. That Team Mitch team is going to be, our Team M team is going to be something to watch for. So getting into the second matchup, which is the Team Hardaway against the Team Mullen. I like Team Hardaway just because there's a lot of continuity on that team, a lot of chemistry. You got two teammates as far as Black and De Silva, who both do a little bit of everything. De Silva can play a lot of defense for you. Grady Dick, like we said, he can knock down the outside shots. He can score. He's got a lot of experience on that team. Same with Hawkes. I think the Hardaway team is the most experienced and a grizzled team in this tournament. So that's why I'm leaning towards them as my futures pick. And then, Ricochet and Sar, there's tons of talent there, which talent can show in these games. And then you got Podzinski, who's a great glue guy. Again, he's played a lot of minutes for a good team or with good players as Curry and, now Butler. He's played with a good organization, great coaching, and Steve Kerr. So I really, really like the Hardaway team. Looking at the Mullen squad, I think Edey is going to be a non-factor. Wells can knock down outside shots, but is he going to be able to create a ton? Dalton Connect's going to have to put the team on his back, honestly. So I think I like him more than I like Dick for the three-pointers made. Because George, I don't really love his game here. Dunn is kind of like a glue guy as well, who he's a role guy. I don't know what he's going to do in the All-Star game. But Castle is a guy to watch out for too. So if you see some late props come up for Stephon Castle, maybe take him for 4, 6 points, 8 points. Those are the lines that I'm seeing currently on FanDuel. Don't see any for him yet, but watch as the tip-off gets closer for some more plays there. So, those are the picks that we like as far as our straight picks. Go ahead and parlay them if you'd like. Or if you want to go outright winners, here are the odds for the two teams that we like. And I think what stands out to me is the odds on the Team Hardaway squad. So that is why we are going to be leaning towards Team Hardaway at plus 310. Just a better value. You got the most experienced roster in the whole thing. You got scoring, you got defense, you got size, you got some mobility out there. So that is why we are going with Team Hardaway at plus 310. So just a quick preview here. Not a lot of lines, not a lot of props out. Excuse me. At the moment, but here at Prop Hunters, we want to give you something, a little teaser for the weekend. We got a lot in store tomorrow as far as All-Star Weekend skills challenges, the game itself. So stay tuned. I'm Brian with Prop Hunters again on StreamEast SportsNet. Thanks and have a good one. We'll see you later.